our skills in building better haptic systems, better augmented reality, virtual reality systems, better 3D printers at home, that's going to be very much necessary in the pathway to digital evolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Engati CX. We have the pleasure of welcoming none other than Gokul Alex to our interview series. Before that, let's just begin with a quick introduction of what Engati is. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform available across 14 channels with 30,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by Inc.com, TechWorld, CIO, and many others. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, of course, receiving upwards of 300,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, Gokul Alex. He is the co-founder and chief technology officer of Beyond Identity. He has also co-founded Epic Knowledge Society, a pioneering pedagogic platform for digital technologies. He has been recognized as one among the top 20 global thought leader on GovTech, EduTech, health tech, and fintech with expertise on AI analytics, blockchain, big data, cybersecurity, cloud, data science, IoT, and quantum computing by Thinkers 360. He has led multi-million-dollar customer engagements on digital transformation and digital innovation. Welcome to the show, Gokul. It's such an honor to have you on board today.
Thank you, Rahul. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. But before we get into all that awesomeness with Gokul himself, here's a quick announcement. Like always, we have something really special for you till the end of the interview. If you stick around, you will find out what it is. So Gokul, are you ready for this?
Yeah. I'm good.
All right. So shooting the first question to you, Gokul, is what should be the role of customer engagement in an ideal digital transformation strategy, Gokul?
It's a great question, Rahul. If you look at the evolution of digital business, there is a pioneering work published by MIT Center for Digital Business and Capgemini on the evolution of digital. The book is called Leading Digital.
Right.
In this book, customer experience is defined as one of the three core pillars or core components of digital transformation.
Right.
Why? Because when we look at every digital system or digital process or digital things, digital is all about most beautiful abstraction that we give by technology.
Right.
So digital is a uniform abstraction of a gamut of services, gamut of technologies, gamut of components, everything fusing together to give you a beautiful, countable, measurable experience. That's what we call as digital.
Right.
And it is realized when customer embraces a particular platform, product, or service. Hence, it is coming together of customer and the experience. That's where the real digital business happens. Hence, I consider customer experience to be the most concrete and most real measure of a digital platform.
Right.
How much more powerful you are in your operational efficiency and your business model. These are the other two components, the operational processes and the business models. How much are you good at this? You have to fine tune yourself. You have to be lean. You have to be very aesthetic to provide a very beautiful digital experience.
Right. So, Gokul, just reiterating to what you are saying to treat the digital platform as a palette so you can paint that experience for the customers coming through. Is that right?
Yeah, it is the right blend in this palette. You mix the colors in the right blend, you give the right combination, right proportion to make sure that it becomes a great experience at the end, so that people are able to appreciate the variety of colors, the technique in which you have mixed the colors, so that they're finally able to appreciate the beauty of it, just like a rainbow. You never know how many colors have come together to form a rainbow, but at the end you appreciate that design, that pattern. That's what we call as a digital experience.
That's a beautiful analogy you've kept there. Yeah, and it is as delicate, but at the same time as simple too, right? I mean, it's
Exactly.
complex and simple at the same time. It's about the perfect balance right there.
Thank you.
That's great. Moving on to the second question, Gokul. Given the current pandemic scenario that we are in, will digital transformation fuel new revenue sources while catering to the needs of, let's say, evolving customer bases?
Indeed, it will. Why? Because digital transformation could be either a natural response to digital disruption, or it could be a conscious decision in your digital evolution journey. For example, companies like Amazon, Microsoft, etc., or even Apple, they have continuously been transforming themselves, not because they were disrupted by anybody. They are the leaders in their own segment. But at the same time, they were continuously transforming them, even if there is no disruptor is there. But there are some others who, who are facing the disruption and then they transform. Mm-hmm. When you look at the current specter of COVID, the pandemic, what we are seeing is a huge disruption when you look at the way people live. Mm-hmm. This is a new mode of living. Right. At the same time, on the economy side, this is the reinvention of a lot of business models. We are reorganizing ourselves as a new market economy. Because we want to survive, we want to see the world post-pandemic. So when we go to this economy, digital transformation is indeed a very survivalistic and a conscious pathway for all the businesses. And how do you do it? Is you are going to connect to people in more ways, different ways possible. So what I would like to say, for example, recently Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, said, we are witnessing 3 times digital transformation in this 3 months that we have never witnessed in the last 3 years.
That's correct.
What is the reason? The reason is people want to return to lives, return to normalcy, right? Nobody want to live in lockdown. Nobody want to live in lockdown for eternity. So everyone have an urge, a conscious determination to tide over this, to survive this situation. And this is really helping our digital transformation efforts in the economy. So if you look at more B2C platforms are embracing digital, we are seeing more content getting created and transmitted through digital platforms. We are seeing more digitization of documents, content, and everything, right? So this is like a natural response which is working together with a continuous innovation that we are doing in the business. So digital transformation is a process where we have both legacy modernization working together with digital innovation. This is very important for us to understand. Digital transformation is not only digital innovation. Digital transformation involves your ability to mobilize, reinvent your existing business models, and modernize your legacy systems. Right. Hence, you have to bring in all your knowledge that you have been using in your business so far. You can't dismantle everything that you were doing all these years. You have to assimilate your best practices, and then you have to understand. You have to have a vision for the world ahead, and that's how you apply your knowledge of legacy systems, legacy processes, and then you embrace these two new digital paradigms.
Right. Right. That's perfectly said. I think Gokul, and it's about pushing boundaries. Let's say when you took experiences, I mean examples about Apple and Amazon, right? They are pushing boundaries with respect to customer service, customer experience, and I think that is what kind of compelling the other competitors to kind of follow the way too. And I think that is true transformation, is when you do it yourself and pave the way for others to eventually completely shift the way business is done all in all. That's correct.
Exactly.
Right.
That's right. So when you look at this, uh, how the leaders in digital are showing the pathway. For example, currently, Apple and Google have come together
Right.
during the COVID times to come together with a new contact tracing platform, a new standard specification, how you can use, be it iOS or Android, whichever way it is. They came up with a new privacy preserving way in which you can use your devices for contact tracing. Likewise, Microsoft have come forward in making the Microsoft Team platform available for the digital communication.
Right.
Same, in a short time, Zoom has come forward, improved their privacy encryption standards. So this is how the leaders set the standards. Leaders lead the way. So this is very important for us to understand how digital transformation works. Digital transformation is a swift approach, a methodology.
Right. That's correct. Uh, and it's beautifully said when it's also about swiftness and adapting to what the customers really require. For example,
Yeah,
with Zoom.
your natural response, your reflex matters. When you consider an organization as an organism, right,
Right.
or an animal. For example, in the uh, there is a famous book by Louis Gerstner, who was one of the CEO of IBM, who compared the erstwhile IBM, the old IBM, to a big elephant or a dinosaur or old. In fact, even in really recent books about digital, we say the old giants are dinosaurs, right? They could not reinvent because why? They are not very swift to react.
Right.
This is very important. So invariant of your size and scale, you should be, for example, you know when elephants can run, you know when cheetah can run. So there is it is not about your size and scale, it is about how much you're mobilizing your resources.
Correct.
That's making you a digital leader.
Correct.
So the way now we have a huge challenge in our ahead of us. We have to distribute the vaccine. When the vaccine is getting ready, it has to be distributed to 700 crore people,
Right.
right? Or that's a huge challenge ahead of us. This is where all our digital supply chains will be tested to the core. And this is where we will see the true leaders in the digital supply chain space.
Right.
So COVID, net, just like our old world wars, when you look at World War One and Two, how much ever catastrophic and how much ever destructive they were, in the technology side, we have progressed a lot thanks to the innovations that we have done in the space of technology and medicine during the World War period.
Correct.
We have come up with so many better vaccines, so many better chemical formula for medicine. At the same time, this is the World War One and Two, in which we have come up with better rocket design, better aircrafts, better information storage devices. And when you look at the World War Two, that is the birth of the Turing machine, or
Right.
the code breaker Alan Turing becoming the godfather of computing. That was the result of the Second World War. Just like it, even if you look at Nazi and Soviet, they also contributed significantly. America, under the leadership of famous scientists, they have also contributed during the World War. So likewise, this is a world-shattering event that we are witnessing.
Correct.
COVID, when we fight this war, when we will win this war against this pandemic, it will be surely the birth of a lot more technologies. Perhaps we will be better in 3D printing the new biocells. We'll be better in 3D printing food. We'll be better in our digital supply chains, our molecular biology, our medicine and technology, machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing. In all these spaces, what we are seeing is huge coming together of people, businesses, processes. That is what we are witnessing in this COVID era. Hence, I am seeing I am having a very optimistic note about how the world will be after COVID.
Yes, like they say, every crisis has its own opportunities that comes through. I think that's the way to go about it also. But Gokul, expanding a little more about non-conventional technologies that are coming through during these crisis times. Do you believe that AI and conversational automation as such will provide flexibility, scalability, and delivery of a seamless and consistent customer experience across channels?
Yes, I believe so. If you are seeing the recent trend in the AI analytics and automation space,
right,
what we are seeing is a real. There are two directions in which I look at the innovations happening in the space of AI analytics and automation. One is driven by business, another one is driven by the new understanding about data. Right? One is driven by our current needs of business, and second one, our better improving our understanding about human intelligence, machine intelligence, and the data.
correct,
So when you look at the recent uh, last 2 years, I have seen reports that chatbots have really helped to improve the productivity of business, especially in the banking financial services, also in other areas like healthcare. And that's something and you know what, when you look at the current growth in the fintech space, Asia is leading the world in terms of the most growing fintech businesses. Because we have more people and we have more people spending more and using more digital money.
correct,
than any other parts of the world. And this is now, so Asia has become the driver of digital, especially in fintech. And across this Asia, be it Japan, China, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore, everywhere, there is massive adoption of digital payment platforms, chatbots, and all this workflow automation systems. Because we have so much people participating, we want to simplify their life and give them better experience. When we have more people using a system, that calls for automation. If you have less number of people, your focus will be on better experience, better value added experience. But when you have more people using the systems, you have to automate. If you don't automate, you can't scale it. That is where, whether you take Paytm or Tencent or any large scale platforms, they are all massively automating their payment workflows, their interfaces. And that's where we are seeing huge adoption of chatbots and conversational assistants. Right. Now, in this COVID era, we will see that we will see more adoption of AI for optimization of workflows. For example, what is the peak load of energy, or what is the peak consumption of video on Netflix or Hotstar or Amazon Prime? or what is the peak consumption of electricity on a particular region. So in this time period, we are going to see application of AI for lot of optimization in energy utility in media area,
Right.
and definitely it will continue in the payment space and uh, in the digital conversation space. And also a lot of hospitals are now adopting chatbots for communicating with the patients and the people who are approaching them. And another area in which we will be seeing automation is the robotic process automation is for form processing. Because in the COVID and post-COVID era, there'll be a lot of applications processing, and perhaps there will be a rise in insurance as well. So when you see more insurance claims for processing, forms processing, we'll see more application of robotic process automation there. So net, we are going to see a massive adoption of AI, analytics, and automation for real life, addressing real life problems in healthcare, fintech, and energy and utilities.
That's correct. It was very great that you mentioned about insurance claims and how they, because these are certain monotonous tasks, right? Like getting the names, getting the email IDs, and I think human resource with time flowing, I think can focus on more important or maybe more complex tasks, and these can be taken care of by chatbots. And as you mentioned earlier about Amazon, right? And customers want it fast. Let's be just real about it, right? I mean, they just want their stuff to be done, and they want service when they want it. It
Yeah,
could be 2 in the night, it could be 3 in the night, or 10 in the morning. I mean, you got to be available, and if you lose it, you lose it forever. That's
that's
how it
right.
is.
Yeah.
And this is where I think chatbots and conversational, as you mentioned, AI will be very key for businesses to run.
Yes,
Right.
indeed. So I would like to say anytime, anywhere commerce has been a real enabler of conversational, conversational AI to a great extent. The the reason being the people are on transit, and people are mobile, and people are getting more and more digitally connected.
Mhm.
So this is, I would like to say, the conversational commerce or the digital commerce has really helped us to evolve together as a better connected society.
Right.
That is now permeating into other areas. So even now, when you look at voice commerce, right, we powered by Amazon Alexa, Google Now, and all the other platforms which are coming up, they are leading the innovation in the voice AI space. The massive investments that Amazon is putting into Alexa, and Microsoft is putting into Cortana, and Google has put into Google Now and Google Home. This has really changed the dimension of AI significantly. AI is becoming more and more real, right? So when it becomes voice, it is getting more closer to you. It is so that is, and now if there is more innovations happening in the haptic space.
Correct.
So more gesture-based interactions
Right.
and more immersive experiences will come in. So what we are going to see is and especially in this post-COVID era, people would be people. I'm not sure the days of the big commerce, big retailers are going to be there, because everyone, on one side you are getting hyper local experience and hyper personalization through the e-commerce systems, and another side, due to COVID, and not only COVID, due to a lot of constraints of traffic and a lot of other reasons, people would not want to go into a supermarket or a big retailer to purchase things, even though there is an advantage. in, there is a real experience, you will love it, but you will give priority to your safety, your time, and all these factors.
Right.
So I would like to say retail has been always close to people.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why in the older era, Walmarts and the Walgreens, all of them have, all the leading retailers have had a great business. But now, with Amazon leading the way, what we are seeing is a new way of living where people decide where they want to shop and when they want to shop. And right now, with haptic, the voice commerce and the haptic based interactions, we will see very close, very affine, interactions with the digital platforms. And maybe we'll see more convergence. Right now, you are only seeing Amazon Prime at home. I believe in the near future, Amazon may integrate your e-commerce along with Amazon Prime, and Uber may be enabling you to buy food along with a partnership with Netflix or others. So
Right.
we are going to see, you will be the real concept of a digital habitat.
Right.
From a home, you will be able, that is where like the smart homes will be the possibility.
Correct.
And that is not only a possibility, that becomes a necessity.
Right. Yes, I think with evolving time, probably like 10 to 20 years from now, we won't be very, familiar with the way we are living right now. I mean, it will be all history by then. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and especially with COVID, right? The spike has been very steep. I mean,
right.
everybody is on Zoom calls. I remember in one of these interviews, a guest said that, hey, now my granddad uses video calls very fluently, which 6 months ago
Exactly.
he couldn't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it compels you. The situations compel you to do that, and which is good also, I think.
Yeah, indeed. I would like to say my father is having Google Meet with his, he's running like he's spending a lot of time with children,
Right.
mentoring them and teaching them a lot.
Right.
He was not a digital wizard for, he never embraced digital as much as we have done. But now I'm seeing him organizing Google Meets and very active in Zoom call. He's pretty much aware of all these platforms right
Exactly.
now. And interestingly, all these children, they have become so smart. They naturally are smart, but they are very fluent. There is no generation gap at all, right?
Correct.
So this is what I was saying. The digital divide, which we had for decades, it is broken down by COVID. Just like what the world wars have done, COVID has brought people together. See, we are facing an invisible enemy here,
Right.
right? An invisible a force which we can't experience, or we can't detect, or we are not able to filter out. And
Right.
hence, we have mobilized ourselves and we are embracing every possible technology. And I'm seeing people, irrespective of age, embracing online commerce and using all these online platforms. They're all, and definitely in the media and entertainment space, there is so much change. A lot of people have come on board on YouTube and
That's correct.
TikTok
That's
and
correct.
spending more time.
Uh-huh.
But I would like to say, I consider this in a very optimistic note. See, this is going to be a new world, a brave new world for us. What we have very efficiently reorganized ourselves, and we distributed our space and time in this digital space. This is what I find very interesting. We have we you know the effect of lockdown has been severe, but just imagine if we did not have these digital platforms, how these lockdowns could have been, right? Without YouTube, TikTok, WhatsApp, and all these platforms, I cannot imagine these people surviving this lockdown. There would have been more depressions, more problems for people in this time. So
Right.
we have rightfully chosen technology in this fight against COVID. That's what I'm really happy about.
That's correct. That's wonderfully put, Gokul. But with transformations, let's talk about something that you are, I mean, great at, and there's no secret that you've been working with so many types of businesses, so many organizations. So, Gokul, in such
Reinforcement.
situations,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So, in such situations, Gokul, we would love to know from you is that what are the technological changes that businesses go through, like when they're going through something like a digital shift as such.
Yeah. So right now, what we are seeing in businesses are businesses are effectively their first focus has been the how to digitize their human resources. I
Right.
mean, in this time period, how to do resource management, resource utilization, how to enable the project managers and program managers to cope up with the COVID. And I would like to say all thanks to collaboration tools like Slack, Trello, Asana, um, and a lot of others, digital project management has shown the way for a lot of enterprises. I have seen quite a lot of businesses and enterprises reinventing themselves very lean and very efficient using these collaboration tools. They have come on board using WhatsApp, Telegram, and Slack, Trello, Discord, and all those platforms. So
Right.
this is one thing I've noticed pretty much. The digital project management and digital collaboration tools. This has really helped a lot of businesses. This has been one of their primary focus, how to do business as usual. Mainly, I'm talking about IT enabled services, companies who are digitized. But this is where, at the same time, I also interacted with organizations like MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, which are which are not traditionally technology savvy. They also have realized the importance of digital, and they have come forward collaborating with digital organizations how to use basic digital technologies for document sharing, document management. So one side, the digital adoption, when you look at the digital maturity curve, the first phase is the early adoption or the digital first adoption. That is where the difference between the laggards and the leaders were there. So one side, all these companies who are performing better have digitized their human resources.
Right.
Second, these companies who have performed very well could utilize their sales force and their marketing team very effectively. And another thing I've found difference between the leaders and laggards in this COVID time. Some businesses has been extremely smart to reorganize and reprioritize the strategies of sales and marketing team. So that is second thing I've noticed in businesses, how they, in terms of their ability to perform in this COVID era. Another another aspect I've noticed is the communication, how much approachable and how much transparent the leadership has become.
Right.
The CXOs has become more empathetic,
Right.
more transparent, and more conversant or more approachable to the organization. So I would say we are witnessing more compassion, more empathy, more kindness in the leadership in this COVID era.
Right.
I have not seen lot of incidents where there has been huge right disconnect between the employees and the employer. So this is all because of a shared empathy. All the people realize this is a common pandemic which we are fighting. So
Mhm.
so this has really, I would say, this has set a good model for a digital uh, culture, a new digital culture. So this is another thing I've noticed in the businesses in this COVID time. And another thing I'm noticing is in some of the markets, there has been regionalization. So, for example, some markets are like, resorting to regional products and services, and that is creating some market pressure for them. That is another aspect right now, which we are seeing in manufacturing sector, or some supply chains, localization and regionalization of supply chains in this COVID era. That's another trend which we have to see how this trend will unfold in the period of time. So altogether, I would like to say this this COVID era, the COVID era has been a real litmus test on how creative you are in terms of understanding your employees, your market, your customers, your partners, and those who have a really good understanding about this ecosystem have really performed better than others.
That's correct. Yeah, I think usually huge pandemics like this eventually bring people close to each other, which is very necessary. Also, in times wherein we are actually craving for real human connection, this is when leaders and organizations should take the step to kind of bridge that gap between employees and leaders. Also,
Yeah, exactly. And this has definitely seen the rise of new digital collaboration tools as well.
yes,
And I would like to say we are now better in digitizing our time and space. This is one summary I would like to say about the COVID time, because you are better in measuring your working hours.
right,
You are better in measuring the working hours of your employee, and you're also better in measuring the space of your business, be it you are a retailer, or you are a restaurant, or you are a travel and transportation company. Now you have a better idea, right, where you have access to your customers and your prospects, be whether you are B2B or B2C or B2G. So this is a real evolution, or I would like to say this is a real improvement in our digitization, because this is going to help us in a manifold in the coming years.
that's
We
correct.
have better control of understanding about time and space, be as on an individual front, or in a collective organization front, or even a government. Right now,
Right.
so many governments have made, in India, we are proud about our government saying at least 10 crore of people have Arogya Setu app, right? They're
Yes.
connected to the government, right?
Yes.
So, how much time we took for getting people on Aadhaar, right? It took so many years. But
True.
see the time in which all the people downloaded Arogya Setu. The similar story has been with South Korea, Germany, Singapore, all these countries, right?
Right.
So the governments have really become digital to a great extent. Even though they have a lot more to achieve in the coming days, they are even thinking about improving. So you know what? This has been a real digitization of individual life, business models, and governments.
That's correct. That's wonderfully put, Gokul. And this has been amazing, Gokul. I mean, so many fresh insights that you have shared, and so many other point of views which you have shared. I, concluding, coming towards the end of the interview, I have one question, open ended. Are there any other thoughts that you'd like to leave our audience with today?
Yeah. I would like to say, Rahul, you have been really great. Your questions have really inspired me to think about various contours, various dimensions of digital.
Right.
I'm really hugely grateful about that. So, along with all this, I am thinking about the one another aspect in which we have to improve is our understanding about design
Hmm.
design of products, services, and platforms. So this is where digitization has to take us to the next dimension. For example, if we were, if we had the capability to 3D print the PPE kits and the mask and all other healthcare kits at home, if we had better access to 3D printers, if we had better access to, if we had decentralized manufacturing a little bit more, uh, it would have been, it would have helped to save a lot more lives in this COVID era, right?
Right.
If we really, for example, it is not very difficult to build a 3D printer. You even using a 3D printer, you can build another 3D printer,
That's true.
right? So if all the governments, now we are talking about the digitization of manufacturing. If all the nations have to achieve mastery in manufacturing, it is high time they have to make everyone a better manufacturer, right? In older times, we used to have manufacturing capability in every villages in India. I'm
Mhm.
not talking just about India. Like, we had better craftsmen, artisans in every villages world over, right?
Correct.
After the industrialization, we had more centralization of manufacturing, and that has resulted in people losing the skill for manufacturing, people losing the skill for design. So
Right.
this is something, along with our ability, now we are better in handling digital technology. Now we are better in digital experience. We are better in dealing with very complex algorithms, right? You know how complex is Uber's on the pricing algorithm, but we are very smart, right? Be whether you're a driver or a passenger, you're really smart to decide, what time you are going, or which cab will I select.
Right.
Everyone is becoming smart, and right, we are outsmarting Uber's algorithm, right?
That's
Similar
true.
way, we are also smartfully using the recommendation systems of Amazon, and we are also using Apple's conversation. Like, we are sometimes outsmarting Siri and Google Home. So we are very good in experiences. But what about our digital design capability? This is something we will have to decentralize. We will have to enable more and more people. So I would like to say the augmented reality, the haptic, our skills in building better haptic systems, better augmented reality, virtual reality systems, better 3D printers at home. That's going to be very much necessary in the pathway to digital evolution, right? If we have to become better digital humanity, right? Be to face next COVID or next pandemic or any other global event, we will have to be better digital designers as a collective, as an organization, as a collective organism. This is what I would like to say as an additional or a final message. I always look forward to seeing that the future when we are able to do that digital 3D printing, digital additive manufacturing at home, and building what we need for the society together.
That's correct. That's a wonderful message you've put out, Gokul. As they say, product design is like the bridge between, it's the deciding factor between your favorite piece of technology and some weird alien object out there. That's what they say.
Exactly. See, we say, right, Issa Asimov, I guess, he said, right, technology initially manifests as a miracle, or
Mhm.
until you are familiar with it, you consider technology as a magic or a miracle,
Right.
right? But design makes you closer to it. So my feeling is we have to improve the design education. In fact, at Epic Knowledge Society, I'm now working with designers worldwide to build a digital design education
Right.
in early young age. We are partnering with some organizations like SkillX and others to bring design education to school level, right? To primary school level. This is very, very important, right? Design awareness, design education, whether it's a service design, product design, interface design, interaction design, all this design, we should be very familiar that design intelligence should be there with every children coming out of school.
That's correct. That's really futuristic thinking, Gokul. I must say that, because not a lot of people think about design. It's secondary for them.
Yeah,
But if given the biggest companies, let's say Apple for fact, right?
Yeah,
It thrives on design,
absolutely,
you
yes.
know. So
Yeah,
I think it's very essential for us to consider that. Well, thank you so much, Gokul, for giving us your time. Your insights have been really valuable, and I know for a fact that our audience is really going to be enjoying this interview.
thank you so much for your kind words. It has been really inspiring and a great imaginative occasion for me. Uh, I would like to say the like Einstein said or said right. Imagination is more important than the knowledge.
That's
So
correct.
right, we could imagine together a lot more things, and that's how at the end of the day, I believe knowledge is what we build together through imagination.
That's
So
correct.
uh, I'm really seeing your efforts in customer experience and conversational intelligence really pathbreaking. I wish you all the very success for Engati and all your team in this journey. Hope you will be able to bring more happy customers and happy experiences for people around the world.
Thank you so much, Gokul. We really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Uh, and as we promised in in the beginning of the interview, if you have really stuck around for this long, we're so excited to announce that our ebook, The Evolution of Customer Experience, is out and available to download it absolutely for free. So check the link in the description, audience, and you will find it where to go and where to get it. And we'll be back with a new episode with a brand new expert soon. So stay tuned, and we'll see you around for the next one. Thank you so much, Gokul.
Thank you, Rahul.